Let's get into it. Episode 566, Sold Not For Sale podcast. Coach Colin here. Let's get right into it. Tucker Carlson was all over Hungary. He was busy. He sat down with the president, which I've already showed some clips on, but then he also did a speech, and then he also did an interview with somebody where they interviewed him. So I got two clips for you today, but they run along the same lines. Tucker Carlson is talking about something that I've touched on before, and knowing someone by their fruits, knowing what someone is in regards to politics or life by what their actions bring. I love that he actually touches on this. I've spoken about this before. It's very important to think about, which is why myself, no matter what someone thinks about Trump, you have to look at what the fruits have been, But let's move aside from Trump. This is about Tucker. Then his second clip, he gives the Hungarian people a real dose of truth. And it's really good. And it's sad that when he sits in front of a crowd in Hungary and says these things, he's so applauded. They listen with such intent. And that happens in America as well. But it just feels different when he's over there. They really want to hear what he has to say. And there's nobody who's throwing around that he's a bigot or he's racist or this or that. The whole country just accepted him with open arms, which is very odd because I was noticing the same thing in regards to those people and other nations in regards to Trump. And I think you notice that with a lot of people who are demonized in the U.S. tend to be embraced in other, usually conservative, other nations. It's odd. It's odd. And it's a little sad, but again, you're about to get a real dose of truth from Tucker right now. Looking really presidential while he's giving this speech. I'll say that much. I will say that much. I don't think he's going to run in 2028, but if he does, what he's doing right now around the world is preparing him pretty well for that. Before I bring you that, I have to bring you to the store. We got a new design. And I just want to get real zoomed in for you guys so you see exactly what's up. This is called the new We the People t-shirt. We also have hoodies and tank tops of this design. This is I love this shirt. This is the gentleman, Google World Economic Forum. You'll understand who this gentleman is. The man who says you will own nothing and be happy. And then the other side is We the People, giving him a good old-fashioned one-finger salute. Oh, you can get that on IamCoachColin.com. And of course, we have the other shirts, the certified pure blood shirt for those of you that survived the pandemic, and we have the Public Enemy #1 shirt making another appearance, Dr. Evil himself. If you don't know who it is, again, Google World Economic Forum, Google Agenda 2030. You'll understand quickly why this gentleman is the Public Enemy #1 and why I have given him this one-finger salute shirt. I should actually call it the one-finger salute shirt. All of that is available on IamCoachColin.com. And if you want 10% off, no problem. All you got to do is put in the discount code IamCoachColin. That's it. You put that in. It's all capital letters. It's all one word. And there's one L in the name Colin, and that gets you 10% off. And if you've done that with us already, thank you so much. Your support means the world to us. I can't stress that enough. I have to say it every episode because it's true. Let's get into this first clip.
If you're trying to assess whether a political philosophy is a good philosophy or a bad philosophy, the test is really simple. Look at what it produces. If a politician, if a leader is telling you, vote for me, support me, send me money, I'm on your side, you can know whether that person is worth supporting by the world he has created, both around him and within his own home. Is that person happily married? Does his wife respect him? Do his children listen to him? How many dogs does he have? Is the town or city or country that he runs getting prettier? Is it cleaner? Is it less crowded? Is there more or less graffiti? Are there more people living on the streets? What percentage of people are on drugs? How many people died of drug overdoses on the sidewalk last month? These are measurable. And so by the fruits, you will know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. And you will also know by the degree to which the person lies to you. Now, all politicians lie. It's a feature of politics. So it's a matter of degrees. Is he lying to you in small ways? Is he bragging? I had 1 million people at my event. No, there were 300,000. No, it was 1 million. Okay, that's a lie. But is it a lie that threatens your existence? Probably not. It's the ones who tell you the 180-degree opposite of the truth who you need to be careful of. And they're the ones who will enslave you. That is true. If they're telling you it's nighttime when the sun is shining, if they're telling you up is down, black is white, they are the ones to avoid. They are dark forces. And even in a country as great as mine, with as many choices as any country in the world has ever had, there are 150 different brands of cat litter in the United States. We have choices. But even in a country like ours, where the promise is there's a flavor for you, there is no diversity whatsoever. There is no choice in the information that you receive in our media landscape. Everybody is saying the same thing all the time. And now you have to ask yourself, why is that? And of course, the answer is very simple, because they're lying to you. And anyone who doesn't lie is punished and pushed off the stage.
Wow. Not many crowds in the US would allow Tucker to be saying this thing. He would. I think he'd be thrown in jail for life if he said this in Canada. I think that'd be it. But yeah, just very, very inspiring speech that he gives. That's just a portion of it. It's about a 20-minute speech, and it's very true. You know who that makes me think of when he talks about that? Obviously, I think he did a little touch on. I think that was a little touch on Trump. You know, the 300,000, but he says it's 1 million. But it's not that bad of a lie. Know them by their fruits. You know who that really makes me think of, though? Gavin Newsom. Because of all the buzz about him potentially running for president, it's like, just look at his state. You know, Ron DeSantis pops up and you're like, look at his state. He stood by his state. He stood by his people. Okay. You know, argument to be made there. He did pretty well. He didn't sensational, in my opinion. You look at Gavin Newsom. It's like, look what you did. Look what you, like, a state is not a toy, you know, but if it was, he broke it. It's not a game, but if it was, he lost. He's terrible. And then has the nerve to potentially run for president. He hasn't even done it yet, and I'm already upset about it. He hasn't even announced it. And I'm still like, what? And the fact that there's going to be some people that are going to be on board with that, that's for another episode. But know them by their fruits. That's something. And that doesn't just go for politicians. That goes for, I talked about this before when I was talking about the Restrict Act. Anything like that. Look at where it leads to. Always look at where it leads to. So if somebody, you know, lawmakers, whatever, they're saying that something has to happen because of TikTok. And I'm using the Restrict Act again as a example because, you know, I should bring it up again because nobody's thinking about that anymore. But, oh, this is for, you know, just to combat China, TikTok. That's all it's for. But then when you look into it, you're like, oh, this is not, there's no mention of TikTok. There's no mention of China. There's only mention of, you know, oppressing American people. There's only talk of surveilling on a higher level American people. There's only talk of potentially charging a potential jail time for using a VPN for the American people. Look at the fruit of it. They say it's for one thing. That's for your protection and your safety. It's the old playbook. You hear it all the time. And then all of a sudden it turns into something that is completely taking away yet another one of your freedoms that you should be holding on to so tightly. You have to remember that. What does it lead to? Anytime you hear about something like that, what does it lead to? A lot of people like to point at DeSantis as like a Trojan horse potential. Now they're doing it to Vivek, potential. But think about the things that they offer, and obviously I'm Team Trump, but they're good men to consider. Think about what they've said and what it leads to. Does it lead to a better place? Does it lead to a better country? Don't just fall in for the troll farms and all these things that are trying to manipulate you and rile you up. Don't just fall for that. And obviously vote for whoever you want to vote for. Trump would be the best opinion. In my opinion, Trump would be the best option, hands down. But I'm just saying, you got to really look at where things lead. What is the person talking to you trying to get you to do? I think of that all the time. You especially when you think of laws. I bring up the Restrict Act again. And just so you know, with the Restrict Act, it hasn't made any ground. Just so you know. A lot of people aren't thinking about it anymore. It's not even close to being a law. It's still at the introduce stage. I check it pretty much every week just to make sure. But yeah, you gotta look out for where it leads to. Now, if it doesn't lead somewhere good, and it's something like a law being passed, a freedom being taken away, not sure what you can do, I would voice my opinion to the local government. That would be the smartest thing to do, in my opinion. You want to be civil. You don't want to be violent. So you got to go to local government. You gotta go there and make your vote count and everything like that. Something to think about. I get nervous when I think of the Restrict Act. Let's go to the next clip of Tucker. The next clip where he's talking a little more truth, but this time it's still pointed at the establishment. Let's get into it.
So I would just encourage, schools come and go, and their purpose changes over time. Most modern universities were once effectively seminaries. Now they're anti-God. So colleges change, but reading books themselves do not change. If you read good books consistently through life, you will become educated in a true sense and wise, which is the point. It's not, accumulating information is not the point. Your iPhone can do that. Becoming wise, able to discern between good and bad, truth and falsehood, that's the goal.
And, we have this overwhelming, this is a nice thought, yeah. But, getting knowledge is one part, and being well informed is the other part. So we have this overwhelming noise online. What would you recommend for young people? How they can become and remain well informed in this online news? Okay, following Tucker Carlson, but what are the other platforms?
No. I would
ways of.
Look, start with the knowledge that you're being lied to at scale. Not just one person, but a collection of people, a network of people acting in concert, knowingly or not, with one another in order to tell you things that are not true. And not just not true, the opposite of the truth. And that there are reasons this is happening, but it is happening. That's the thing to know. So, I personally, I hate to say this because it's very dark and cynical, but it's also true. I assess people's honesty by how the so-called mainstream, which is not mainstream in any sense, but the predominant voices regard them. So if somebody in power says, well, you're not allowed to think that, my first question is, well, why? Probably because it's true, actually. Probably because it's true. Very few people are punished for lying. I can't remember the last time I saw a public figure in the United States punished for lying. They're caught all the time. No one is ever punished. Instead, people are punished for telling the truth. Maybe not the whole truth, maybe a variation of the truth, maybe just something that points toward the truth. But it's the truth that is illegal. And so I assess it in reverse. If the people I don't trust, if the Atlantic magazine is screaming that you must go to jail or be silenced, I want to know what you're saying. Because I bet it's a little closer to the truth than what the Atlantic magazine is telling me. In fact, I'd bet my house on it.
And
Beautiful. That was just beautiful. Man, these people in Hungary, they're getting a free Tucker Carlson episode live, a live Tucker Carlson episode. And it's worth a few million views, that's for sure. And it's worth so much more at the same time. Just that knowledge, just somebody of that stature saying things like that to the public. It's so necessary. And again, this is another thing that I've touched on before, where he was talking about, what was he just saying? Let me go back here.
United States punished for lying. They're caught all the time. No one is ever punished.
Yes, the lying, the constant lying that people are caught in. And then what else was he saying?
They are not with one another in order to tell you things that are not true. And not just not true, the opposite of the truth.
Yes, that is the thing that the focusing in on whoever they're telling you not to focus on, whoever they're telling you is misogynistic and racist and bigoted and this and that. I've said this 100 times on this channel, or at least a few times. At least a few times, that I didn't listen to Jordan Peterson for the first 2 years that I heard about him. For the first 2 years that I heard about him, because I just believed the media. And not even the media. I believed somebody who was very left-leaning, who just said, he's racist. He's a racist teacher. I was just like, oh, okay, that's it. And I kept myself from that knowledge, that well of knowledge that man has, for 2 years, because I didn't lean in. As soon as they said he was racist, I should have went and found out, how is he racist? It ended up happening organically anyway, because I saw some clips of him and he's just an undeniable person. Same with Tucker, same with Joe, same with so many people. But I had to lean in. And I remember him changing my life. And I remember thinking, as I was learning this stuff, that I could have figured all this out 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I could have figured all this out. I could have known about this 2 years ago. I could have been a better man years ago if I just leaned in and just didn't listen to those people and just decided for myself. So when he brings that up, that really hits a chord, because you need to do that. You need to do that. If a news station, mainstream media outlet, TV, whatever it is, if they're telling you somebody is the person to stay away from, you have to lean in yourself and figure that out for yourself, because they are for sure, every single time I've seen it, there's never been a time where I'm like, let me hear, oh, that person, yeah, I guess that guy is bad. It's a lie every time. Every single time it's been a lie. Whenever it's somebody who's just, oh, you shouldn't listen to this, oh, what they're saying is dangerous, as soon as you hear that, you're like, oh, that's probably someone I should learn from. They're speaking, what they're saying is dangerous, what they're saying is violent. It's probably someone I should learn from. I should probably check it out. I should probably see what they're about. Every single time. It's never failed me. It's ridiculous. And I get riled up when I think about that whole thing with Jordan Peterson. It's just like, it could have happened with Tucker too. Could have easily happened with Tucker too. The first few times I spoke about Tucker with somebody, they said, oh yeah, isn't that guy like far right? Isn't he like racist or something? And I was like, I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. I'm not hearing it. I remember that happened with Trump, and I was like, and by then I was like sharpened. And someone was like, he's racist. I'm like, what did he say? They're like, oh, just, just like overall. Just overall? What do you mean just overall? What does that mean? What are you saying to me right now? Just overall how? What did he say? Oh, he said something bad about Haiti. He said Haiti's not a good place. I was like, it's not. What's the problem? What? Somebody from there will tell you that. What are you talking about here? And then I became racist because I said that. Even though I'm black, it doesn't matter. But lean in when somebody tells you that stuff, because I don't want to say they're always lying, but I will say that the truth is rare when you're listening to the mainstream media. That's what I'll say. The truth is rare. And it's rare that the truth is just going to come to you. You're just going to, on the first run, you're just going to hear the truth. You probably have to take another step in, another look-see. You gotta pursue the truth. It's not just going to drop on your feet. You have to pursue it. Anyways, guys, if you haven't liked this video, like the video. If you haven't subscribed already to this channel, subscribe. We're making 1 to 3 videos a day. No one else is doing that. Okay? Hit that subscribe button. And again, I'm going to show you this picture again because I think it is hilarious. One more time. Oh, one more time. One more time. And other than that, I am out.